Hey my dudes, welcome back to my channel. As you've probably figured out by now, today I'll be taking you through how I planned for the month of November. I can't believe it's already November, like 2017 is almost over. Anyway, as always, I had to make a cover page to mark the beginning of the month. And this month I went full on fall and actually found a YouTube tutorial on how to draw a maple leaf. It took me a little while to learn how to draw the leaf well, but I really love how this cover page turned out. I actually recently discovered a way that you can use Tombow dual brush markers to create a fake watercolor effect. If you have any sort of water-based marker, I highly recommend doing this. What I did was color in a bit of the marker on the plastic bag the markers came in. Then I dipped the brush in a glass of water and picked up some of the marker's ink from the plastic with the brush. It's so much less of a hassle than pulling out all of my watercolor paints. And of course, if you're a watercolor purist, feel free to use real watercolor, but I think this looks just as good. Moving on, I of course had to make my typical monthly calendar. I wanted to carry over the dark, bold lines I started on the outline of the leaf in the first page, so I made the calendar pretty plain and uncomplicated. On the side, of course, I wrote November in some block letters and colored it in with the same technique I used in the leaf, mixing orange and brown together for that subdued, kind of fall into winter sort of vibe that November always calls to mind. If you have a Leuchtturm notebook and would like to know for reference, each box I think is 6 squares across and 7 squares down, with a 1 square margin all around it. Now this next page is totally experimental, but I wanted to try a new spread this month featuring a list of general goals and a to be read section, because if you follow me on Instagram, you know I am perpetually behind on reading all of the books I want to read. My username on there is the same, @ALittleBookWorld, if you'd like to go check me out. Anyway, in addition to the lists and in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I doodled a little ship at the bottom of the page so that it wasn't totally empty, and I do intend to add to the page over the course of the month. On the left page, I put my brain dump space, which is one of my favorite things about bullet journaling in general. It's a great place to just dump out any thoughts or ideas I have throughout the day. The last page I made for the month of November is, of course, the first weekly spread of the month. To the left, I made a column to keep track of events. I find this especially helpful for school because I can see all of the dates for tests, quizzes, and projects and can plan accordingly. I filled in the block letter title with the Tombow technique and finally wrote in the first day of the week. As I fill in my tasks for each day, I'll write the rest of the days in. So that's my planning for the month of November. Here's a quick flip through of my final spreads, and I hope you found some inspiration for your own bullet journal or just had a good time watching me create mine. Happy planning, and I'll see you all next month.